so sad. So let's just touch on this economy,
Yeah, same theme,
joblessness,
kind.
because speaking of
Yeah.
poverty, this comes from the CBC. The Canadian economy added 8,200 jobs in December, while unemployment rose to, oh, this is so staggering, 6.8%. And this was what Garnett, the MP,
Yeah.
was trying to go to York University to speak on this exact thing. I think he actually posted a video. Yeah, breaking news. Don't hear it from me. Listen to what he has to say about the situation in Canada with rising unemployment.
Hi, folks. We've got some new job numbers just released this morning. Unfortunately, they underline the serious problems in the Canadian job market. We're seeing a 0.3% increase in the overall unemployment rate, a 0.5% increase in the youth unemployment rate. 73,000 people lost their jobs in Canada in the last month, and we now have the highest public sector employment ever. These are very concerning numbers. They underline the need for a real jobs plan. They underline the fact that the Liberal approach to jobs and the economy simply is not working. We need to unleash the economy, fix immigration, fix training, and build homes where the jobs are. That was the Conservative jobs plan that we released in the fall, and we continue to call on the government to implement the constructive proposals we're putting forward. Very bad job numbers out today. Again, a 0.3% increase in the unemployment rate, 0.5% increase for youth, 73,000 jobs lost.
Those are staggering numbers. And especially as the public sector grows, right? So the bureaucracy,
Mhm.
the government gets bigger. Well, the private sector falls to the wayside. And youth unemployment is especially concerning because these are like your run-of-the-mill cashier, fast food, drive-through type jobs that really give teenagers, our kids, a foot in the door. They're not
Yeah.
glamorous. They're not intended to make them a millionaire, but they
Hmm.
give them real job skills and interpersonal skills needed to thrive and develop as a person in the employment world. And these jobs are being undercut through temporary foreign worker programs, the Canada Mobility Program. Again, this unfettered immigration influx that dwarfs historical averages,
Well, so
absolutely
self
skyrockets.
check-ins too. I mean, we are just narrowing down the opportunity for our youth, and of course, mass immigration. You can see a lot of those jobs are being filled by foreigners instead of locals. And when it talks about 8,000 or whatever jobs that came in the month of December, 81,000 more people came to the workforce, meaning there was 81,000 more people needing work in just that month of December. So even if you're putting in more jobs, it's not doing really much for that issue. Another thing that stood out in the article to me is that we're seeing like an unprecedented amount of over 55 being employed. Like it's at a higher percent that over 55. Well, why is that? It's because before some could retire early. Now you probably have people who thought they were going to retire, not retiring anymore, or people who did retire coming back to the workforce. So we're seeing less youth and more of our elderly people having to work. This is serious, serious stuff that every Canadian should be
Yeah,
concerned on. If our youth can't
look at
find
that
jobs, now
graph.
the graph is terrifying. But when youth can't find jobs or they're not doing sports, what do? They get into trouble. I know you guys have a problem out there. I don't know if this is even on your radar, but I have family back east, and according to them, there's like a lot of young guys being recruited by, gang members because, they just have nothing to do and there's no jobs. And the gang members also know that they're going to get a slap on the wrist if they get caught with these, robberies and things like that. So, I mean, it affects everything if we can't give our youth jobs, hope, a future. And of course, the ones that don't get into trouble, well, they're probably just going to move. And then what happens to us? So,
Yeah, and we've seen that also,
yeah.
immigration
Hmm.
being massive the last several months and kind of trickling certainly the last few years, especially as Canada saw some of the harshest and most restrictive infringements to human rights
Mhm.
and civil liberties throughout the COVID era. And many things happening that are so concerning with the government, with censorship and freedom of expression. And as Karima, points out, also freedom of assembly and this divisive rhetoric that we have continually coming from the political class.
Mhm.
It's a bit of a mess.
It is. One good news, since this has been such a depressing live. So back to the machines replacing, the youth's jobs. So all of the, is it Dollaramas out where I was, they all had like a whole bunch of machines. Like maybe 3 years ago, they replaced tons of their staff with that. And they've actually taken them all out because of theft. Too many people were stealing with the machines. And I saw that too. I saw actually some teens, swipe, and then pocket. Like they would pocket every fourth item or something like that. So, there's it up. Now they're hiring humans again and they don't have the machines. So that's good.
There you have it.